guys, welcome to
the brand new podcast, Young and in Love.
Young and in Love.
This is the podcast, Young and in Love. Hello, young lovers, and welcome to another episode of Young and in Love. Young and in Love. Again, I'm Josh.
And I'm Taylor.
We're the Andersons. And this is Young and in Love. Young and in Love. Young and in Love.
Young and in Love.
This is Young and in Love. We're going to take a quick moment and highlight one of our sponsors, Anchor.
So if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let us explain.
It's free. All you need to do is download their app or visit their website, which is anchor.fm.
Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more.
They will literally take care of all of the distribution services, so all you have to do on the day of is hit publish. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone using an app or computer if you'd much rather just use the website.
You can even make money from your podcast without even having one listener.
Yeah, without a single listener, they'll find sponsors that are willing to give you a chance and give you a shot at making money.
It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
So all we ask is that if you have a story to tell or a message to share, that you download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. When I had an idea to start a podcast, I had no idea where to start. But I had listened to Candace and Casey's Couples Therapy, and they had mentioned an app called Anchor. And I was really intrigued to see how really simple it could be to make a podcast.
Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's free and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means that you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad.
So, if you always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. That's Anchor, as in ANCHOR.FM/START to join me in the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. I can't wait to hear your guys' podcasts. Welcome back, one and all. We are recording yet another episode of the podcast, Young and in Love. I am Josh. I'm here with Taylor again.
Hi.
And we will be talking about a goal that we're working on together this week. A goal that so many people set at the beginning of a year. A goal that so many people try and make it through January and so often do not. However, we are still going, and it is January 17th, so we're halfway there to our 30-day goal, and that 30 is a very key number because what we're talking about today is a diet that we're on.
Bum, bum, bum.
And everyone always sets diets and they have a goal to become healthier and live a better life in the new year. And obviously, it just doesn't happen overnight. And it's a whole lot harder than most people think. So we have actually done this diet before. It's called the Whole30. And it's a diet that you do for 30 days, hence why it's called Whole30. But Tay has read an entire book about it, so she is actually going to explain it to you now.
So the Whole30 is a diet that was created by Melissa Harding. And this diet, or this 30-day challenge, has you eat whole foods. And it eliminates all foods that can cause different reactions in the body, or can be like an allergen to some people, or just has like any unwanted side effects. So we cut out dairy, we cut out legumes, we cut out grains. We cut out any processed food. We cut out sugar. And so we can eat a lot of fruit and vegetables, meat.
All the meats.
All the meat that is cured.
No, that
right?
Isn't cured.
That's uncured.
Yeah.
And to our surprise, as well as all of you, there's actually an abundance of like meals and like delicious desserts and satisfying food that you can still eat.
So what is the point of the Whole30? Because some diets, like the whole point is to lose weight as quickly as possible. Other ones are to cut carbs because carbs are bad, or reduce trans fats and added sugars. So what's the point of the Whole30?
The Whole30 is just to clear out your diet and like sort of like revamp your body, like get your body like a reboost, like a detox of all like the bad like toxins, and get rid of all the food that maybe your body like wasn't dealing great with beforehand. So maybe you have like some chronic like flare up, or you have acne, or like you have issues sleeping, or you have migraines or lack of energy. Like all this stuff goes on and on and on. The Whole30 has been proven by like multiple like sources that a lot of those problems can be fixed just with what food like you put into your body. And so you go through the 30 days only eating the food groups that I just like mentioned, and then at the end of the 30 days you have a 10-day reintroduction process. And so like you slowly reintroduce food groups. So like one day you'll introduce grains for that day. So like you'll have like a piece of bread like breakfast, or then you'll have like some pasta for dinner. And then the next day you go back to the Whole30 and you sort of like note how you feel, and if they're like you don't like those things that you're feeling, then you just decide to like cut out grains for like forever then.
Yeah, so you learn what your body reacts to.
Yeah. But another thing is, like, with the Whole30, you're not supposed to weigh yourself for the 30 days. You're not supposed to take your measurements for 30 days. You should do all those things beforehand just so, like, you're aware of, like, what you were if you want to. And you're not supposed to, like, track your calories or anything when you're on the Whole30, and just sort of, like, listen to your body. You're not really supposed to snack. You're supposed to just eat, like, big full meals, including all of the major food groups, so like proteins, fats, and carbs. And then because you're doing this, it's supposed to like heal your relationship with food in your body as well, because you're just listening to your body instead of like inputting numbers and relying off of that.
Yeah. So I really liked this. I was really skeptical of it at the beginning, because not skeptical, but just uninterested, because I like to have the occasional chocolate bar every once in a while, or chocolate chip cookie, or I thoroughly enjoy breakfast of all different types. And once you cut out grains, sugars, and dairy, you don't really have breakfast anymore. You've got eggs and bacon. Luckily, I lived in Brazil for 2 years, and a very good breakfast food down there is tapioca. And tapioca flour is acceptable on the Whole30. Another stipulation, though, is that you're supposed to be resetting your body. So we're supposed to be avoiding imitation foods. So imitation foods are, for example, if I loved pancakes, then instead of having pancakes, I would make like blueberry syrup by just blending or putting blueberries in a food processor and making like a jelly, and then taking those blueberries and putting them on top of banana pancakes.
And we are very guilty. We have done this exact thing.
We did it last time.
Yeah.
We haven't done it yet this time. So
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do that because you're supposed to be sort of resetting your body and figuring out exactly what is good for your body and what you don't react to well. So, that is the Whole30 in a nutshell. This is our second time doing it, and we're on day 12.
Yeah.
Day 12. A really cool diagram that they actually have. Was that from the book, The Calendar of Side Effects?
Yeah, I can pull it up right now.
Yeah, Tay's going to pull it up. I think it's really fun because they give you, based on a wide array of side effects that people have had during the Whole30, they have a calendar of day by day and sort of what happens and what you should be feeling based on the majority of reactions from other people. So obviously it's a little different for everyone and the timetable may be different, but for us, the general outline has sort of followed day by day.
Yeah, almost like exactly.
So you can just touch on some of like the funny ones or some of the ones that you really associate with.
So at the beginning, like the first like week, basically. Well, okay, so like day 1, you do it and you're like, wow, like this was awesome. Like I got this because it's the first day. Like it's really like no big deal, you know? But then like going on until like day like 2, 3, up until like the first week basically is like the detox. So like your body's like getting rid of all those extra things and starting just to clear out everything. So you start to get super tired. And I definitely felt that a lot going into this again, this time around. And then it says like on day like 4 and 5, like you're really like moody because like your body's not used to like eating like just this food, or like it's missing like the sugar or the carbs or like the processed food that you normally eat. And then around days like 8 and 9, your body starts to actually get like more bloated, because it has to like sort of like learn how to like digest all like whole foods and not just like the simple foods that your body's like used to like doing. And then
sort of like a mini survival mode, right?
Right.
So your body starts holding a lot more water weight, as well as excess energy and carbohydrates that'll store up for later.
Right.
Thinking it's thinking there's a scarcity of food, even though you could be maintaining calorie count.
Right.
It's lacking in those things that it's used to, so then it starts to store up what you are eating, and that's why you bloat. Right.
And then like with that, TMI, you might also have like some issues going to the bathroom. Like that happened to me the first time around, and I was like, man, like what the heck? But it kicks back in. Don't worry. And then towards the end of the second week, you start to really crave junk food. Like right now, we're coming up on the hardest days and the days where like you really crave everything. So I've been craving pizza, and I've been craving Reese's Pieces cups or whatever they're called, and I don't know, just all the sweets. It's really difficult. And then the cool thing is the third week they call it tiger blood. So days like 16 through like the end of Whole30, you're supposed to have this increase of energy, and you're supposed to have like glowing skin, and you're starting to see like all those results that were promised to you. And it all starts to come like full circle, and that like the end is near. I don't know. You just start to see like all like why you did it, basically.
This is why I like this diet or lifestyle the best, because one, it gives you a set amount of time. So it's Whole30. You're going to go 30 days without eating these food groups, and then you're going to slowly introduce them back. So you're on a timeline. It's not just, oh, I'm going to eat salads for the next 6 months, because it gets terrible. We all know. You get a little sick and tired of eating the same salad every other day. Even if you add in a little variety, you sort of run out of salad ideas after week 6. And you just get tired because you're not getting a balanced diet. However, on the Whole30, you've got 30 days, so you can start the timer, and every day that goes by is like a small win.
Right.
And then it's got this neat calendar that tells you, get to day 16. Maybe it comes a little late for you, so like 17 or 18. But once you get there, you're going to feel great. And you immediately start to feel those side effects and those consequences, those good consequences of eating right and staying healthy for those 16 days. The first 16 days are not easy. We sort of knew what to expect because we've done it before. So here we are on day 12. So we sort of know the routine. But I always encourage anyone who asks, like what we've done or if we've done it, I always encourage them to do it, to try the 30 days. Because the last point is that within after the 30 days, in the next 2 weeks, you slowly introduce the food groups that you've been withholding to see how your body reacts. So you'll go a day eating small amounts of dairy, and then you go the next 2 days back on the Whole30 to see how your body reacts to the dairy. And the cool thing is that if you eat dairy again and your body doesn't react, you don't get sort of acid reflux or a stomach ache or anything like that, then you're good. You're golden. Like, you can limit your dairy intake and like keep living a Whole30 lifestyle, but not be afraid to have a ham and cheese sandwich every once in a while, or to go and have a bowl of cereal, because you know that dairy's not going to do you wrong. And then you do the same thing with grains and legumes, and I think I covered them all there. So that's why I like it, because it's so personalized, rather than just saying everybody go on the Beachbody diet because it's great and it works for everyone, or like go on Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers is actually changing now too, to become more personalized. But all these widespread or like huge multitude diets where they try and get everybody doing the same exact thing, it doesn't make much sense, because we all know that we have different bodies and we have different reactions to different things. So the Whole30 really lets you figure those out for yourself.
And I think that's another reason why like this diet is like so refreshing compared to all the other ones, because diets are, for the most part, generalized around like how you look. Like you want to look a certain way at the end of the diet, and like this diet, I mean, those things automatically like come with it because you're changing what you're eating. But there's so many other like greater impacts that this diet has on you afterwards. So like for me, after like the first round, like I have a really hard time falling asleep at night. But like while I was on the Whole30, while I am on the Whole30, I fall asleep really easy. I stay asleep. I don't wake up as like groggy and like tired as I normally am in the morning. I don't know, it's just it's really refreshing to like go and do something and not have to think about like your weight or your size or anything else. You go into it for other reasons.
And to help you guys really attain this goal, and if you decide to go after the Whole30, we're going to give you a couple tips and tricks. These tips and tricks are can also be applied to any goal that you have. So although they are specifically tailored towards the Whole30, you can use them to attain any New Year's resolution or goal that you may be working towards as a couple. So we've already covered one, which was that the symptoms calendar. So that Whole30 symptoms calendar sort of tells you what you're going to face and when it's going to happen and what you have to look forward to. So applying that to any part of life is, you could just relate that to thinking ahead. thinking what's going to happen with the goal, what's going to keep you from attaining that goal, what's going to hold you back. So plan ahead and think about what's going to happen on a daily basis so that you know what to expect, what's going to get in your way from reaching that goal, and what you're going to have to overcome. And Taylor has a good one that goes along with that about avoiding temptation.
Yeah, so another thing that helped us, and I think can help a lot of other people if you choose to start this diet, is to clean out your pantry and like your fridge, and really like take your snacks or foods that don't go along with the diet or that are tempting for you, and sort of put them up or put them in a closet somewhere, like up in a box, or throw them out or give them to a friend. Just because when that second week hits and you start getting those cravings, and if you're hungry because you haven't eaten dinner yet or you haven't eaten lunch yet, man, it gets really hard not to just be like, I'm going to eat these wheat thins right now and I don't even care. So just out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, so if you've got a fitness goal, you could put your tennis shoes in front of the TV or something like that, so that every time you sit down to watch TV and you see your tennis shoes, maybe you remember, I could slip my tennis shoes on, go for a quick run, and then come back. Just avoiding that temptation, putting things in your way so that you can focus on your goal and stay away from the things that are going to derail you from attaining that goal. A quick trick for the Whole30 is low sodium. So we actually learned on the Whole30 website that oftentimes meats, like your deli meats and your packaged meats, will have sugar in them, added sugar, because when they use salt to preserve the meat, the salt needs something to stabilize it. So I'm probably going to mix up the chemical terms, but I'm pretty sure salt can oxidize because it's already iodized. That's why I'm not going to use the word iodized. But I'll say both of them, so if one of you out there is like, you messed that up, it was iodized, then you can correct me. But in order for salt to not oxidize while it's in the package, it needs something to stabilize it. And that's what the sugar does, which is often glucose. We've set sort of a standard for ourselves that if on the package it says less than 2% of, and then it says dextrose.
Yeah.
Dextrose is the simplest of the sugars, right? So if it says less than 2% of dextrose, then you're okay, because it's simply in there to stabilize the salt. But the trick that we found, especially with bacon, is that if you buy we buy low sodium bacon, which it still tastes good. I'm a man, that stereotype. And Taylor doesn't really like bacon, but she likes the low sodium bacon. So it still tastes like bacon. It still tastes good. And when you look on the back of the package of the low sodium bacon, there's no sugar. There's no added sugars. So that's a little trick to still eat something that you find delicious without having to break your diet. Another tip for the Whole30, as well as any goal, and this one's probably most crucial to any goal, is having an accountability partner. So the fact that Taylor and I do the Whole30 together makes it a whole lot easier, because I can only imagine if I had come home today and she was feeling that craving for a Reese's peanut butter cup, and I just go, oh, look, a Reese's peanut butter cup, and I grabbed it and I ate it, it would be so much harder for you to stick to the diet.
I'd be so angry.
Yeah. So finding that diet buddy, because then if you're ever feeling overwhelmed with cravings, you have someone to call and someone to rely on. We had a work lunch the other day, and they always bring cookies and like the most delectable brownies ever. They're so soft and moist, and you just eat them and they melt away. It's like a mix between a soft cookie and cake, and it's so good. And they had them at the lunch, and I was staring at them, and I was like, well, Taylor's at home. But instead, I pulled out my phone, and I texted her, and I said, there's so many cookies here, and all I want to do is eat one. But I didn't. And it was because I had that accountability partner, and I knew I was going to be letting her down if I ate a cookie. And caveat to the Whole30 is if you eat something in the middle of it that breaks it, you're supposed to start over from day one. So that's always an extra motivation not to give into those cravings, because you don't want to turn your Whole30 into a Whole47 or a Whole36. So having that accountability partner with any goal is going to help you. So fitness goals, you always have a buddy to go to the gym with, or to go play basketball with, or go on a light jog with. If you want to read books, you could always read books together, or join a book club so that you can read more books throughout the year and you have that accountability. If you want to become more spiritual or more charitable, you can join a nonprofit organization, because then you'll have those people that are counting on you to do what you need to do, and that way you can fulfill those goals. So finding someone who's accountable and who's going to go after the same goal that you have with the same zeal. And even in our day and age, you can find accountability partners online and have joined groups in Facebook or apps that help you find people that are into the same stuff. And that way you can get after your goal with someone else at your back to help you get over those bad days and those humps. So those are just a couple tips, tricks.
One more.
Tay's got one more. Take it away.
I think the biggest thing, our biggest lifesaver that's helped us, helped me, because I've been cooking the most and planning a lot on here, is Pinterest. I would not be able to do the Whole30 without Pinterest, because when we first went into this, there was recipes in the back of the book, but I don't know, I like to find recipes on my phone. I think it's easier than carrying the book into the kitchen, or maybe I'm just lazy, I don't know. But there are so many recipes on Pinterest for Whole30, for paleo, for keto, for low carb, whatever the heck you're looking for. And they're so good. I think that's something that shocked both Josh and myself when our first time around doing this, is that the meals we were eating, they were so good. Some of our favorite meals ever are all Whole30 meals. And even when we're not doing the Whole30, we'll go back and we'll eat those meals a lot because we like them that much. So, and with Pinterest, you can get your grocery list, you can plan ahead of time, you can really just plan out for the week what you want to do. So, Pinterest.
And on Pinterest comes those communities of different things. So even if it's not looking for recipes that are Whole30 compliant, which will really help with your condiments. So finding Whole30 compliant mayonnaise and a recipe for that, really simple to make. You'd think it was a lot harder to make mayonnaise, but it's not.
It takes a minute.
Yeah, it takes a minute to make. You can find ways to puree tomatoes in order to make a ketchup or a tomato paste. So really great ways to comply with the Whole30, as well as a lot of good things for everyday life. So if you're working on budgeting your money better, there's really cool tactics on Pinterest where people have shared how they've kept a budget and how they use a budget, or how they better organize their day. People have fitness goals on Pinterest, and everybody's just sharing what's worked for them and what's helped them. So Pinterest is a great resource if you have a goal, but you're sort of stuck on how to do it and how to get it done. Pinterest is your go-to website. They have a really good search algorithm, so you just type in exactly what you're thinking, and usually there's something very relatable in the first 10 posts. So, again, breaking a stereotype, I am a man that uses Pinterest. So, get after it.
Okay, so if those of you who are listening are actually interested in the Whole30, there's a lot of books out there that both Melissa Hartwig and her husband Dallas have written together about the Whole30 and about your relationship with food and diets in general. And so some of those books are It Starts With Food, Whole30 Fast and Easy, Food Freedom Forever, the Whole30 Cookbook, Whole30 Day to Day, and then there's a whole bunch of Whole30 books that have different recipes in them. So there's like a slow cooker one, and yeah.
So we recommend this diet. Obviously, we've done it once before and we're doing it again now. But we also just really recommend doing things together. So as a couple, we've grown tremendously together because you're achieving things together. And when you do that, you have that team mentalism where you grow together as comrades and teammates and buddies. And you just grow closer together as you both work towards a common goal. So you also help each other through struggles and hard days and overcome temptation. So you're both lifting each other up as you both grow together. So we recommend just doing anything and everything together. Find a hobby to do together. Find a goal to achieve together. Read a book together. It could be as simple as just going on walks together so that you can talk about how your day went without any distractions and really get to know your partner better. And that is such a great segue into, because I planned that segue, wink, wink, into a special episode, a very special episode. We are going to be doing post Valentine's Day with a special company that we came upon online, and they've agreed to partner up with us. And we're going to keep it a little bit of a secret because it's really exciting and really fun. But look forward to that as we get closer to Valentine's Day, we'll be sort of dropping other hints about an adventure to come. And it's a great way for us as a couple to get outside of our comfort zone, do things that are inexpensive and relatively timeless or don't require a lot of time. But still make memories and grow closer together. That's all the tips you get for now, but we will keep dropping hints the closer we get. As always, make sure you click that follow button, that little heart up in the top right-hand corner for those of you that are on Spotify, the majority of you. There's another good number of you on Apple Podcasts, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you know every time a new episode drops. We thank all of our Anchor listeners for supporting Anchor. They are the company that helps produce this podcast, and they really helped us get it started so easily and so quickly. So make sure you like us and follow us. Seek us out on Instagram. I'm posting more. I promised, so I'm doing it. I'm finding neat ways to post about it at least twice a week now. We've kept up our promise for uploading every week. So our goals are going well for 2019. We're about through January, which is exciting. And we really want to start interacting with people. So find us on Twitter, find us on Instagram, as well as on Facebook. And that is always the social media, whatever it is, Instagram.com, Twitter.com, Facebook.com/YoungLovePC. So no matter what social media you're on, it's always Young Love PC or at Young Love PC. PC for podcast. We appreciate your support. We look forward to interacting with you. And do you have anything else for them?
Have a nice weekend.
Yeah. Sail into that weekend.
Friday.
Or
Saturday, whenever you're listening to this.
And we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.